back to Hurricane Rosie, and if you're new here, welcome to my channel. So I feel like for the majority of my life, I've kind of, being a typical Scorpio, I've always been kind of misunderstood. And because I've been so misunderstood, I've always kind of been the odd one out. And I feel like within the last 2 years or so, I've really kind of had some hardships, I suppose, with friendships ending and relationships and just not being accepted and trying to figure out a way to cope with that and to figure out a way to just kind of get over it. And when I went vegan, I was the one who was faced with the challenge of loving people unconditionally. And last year was actually a really interesting year for me because that's when, no, I went vegan in 2017, but last year I kind of did this sort of spiritual practice. And I say spiritual practice because, it did take me a lot of practice. And that's loving people unconditionally, even though I have this new knowledge about veganism, and any person who's vegan would understand, the typical arguments that you get into with your non-vegan family and friends about the lifestyle, and I don't want to go into specifics about it because that's not the point of this video. It's not to talk about veganism. So basically what I did was I kind of took a couple of months completely, well, not completely, but somewhat, so basically what I did last year was kind of challenge myself to stay away from all of my friends, to see what that's like, and really take some space and just find myself and figure out how I'm going to deal with just everything that happened within the last 2 years of my life. And just to take some time out to myself to figure out what I'm doing with my life, and I still don't know, which is funny. Friendship-wise, relationships, just to figure myself out, I suppose. And while I was doing this practice, and while I was kind of just trying to figure out how I'm going to adjust, how I'm going to blend back in with my group and all of that stuff, I kind of figured out something really beautiful, I suppose. And I wrote this on my Instagram. And I say it's one of the most healing things in the world because it builds trust on such a deep level that, I think typically it's like a mother and child kind of bond. So it can be one of the most healing things in the world because at the end of the day, I feel like everybody is looking for acceptance. Everybody is looking for, we're social creatures, so everybody is looking for people that they can show themselves to and hide nothing from, and still be loved and accepted unconditionally. Even if they have a dark side, I mean, everybody has a dark side, right? And nobody is a perfect human being. And I feel like if you challenge yourself to accept the light and the dark in a person and love them anyway, I feel like we should really seek to be that same way with people in our lives, people that we meet. We should just strive to let people be themselves completely and totally. And obviously, I'm not saying accept somebody that has toxic traits or that treats you badly and just ruins your day all of the time. I'm just saying find a middle ground between you and a lover, or you and a friend, or somebody that you might be getting intimate with, anybody in your life, and try to aim for a place of unconditional love. I feel like that's one of the many things in the world that really just make people feel awful, I suppose. Make people feel like they're not enough, or I'm not saying that not loving somebody unconditionally could be the whole reason why somebody is just depressed and sad. I'm just saying that could be a contributing factor, and we should try to aim to lessen the person's pain instead of adding to it. And I'm not saying this in a way that you have to accept every single person that is different to you. I feel like just passing on judgment in like a really negative way, to the point where somebody feels so down about themselves and like nobody would ever accept them, especially when they've made themselves so vulnerable to you, or they've opened themselves up so much and so deeply, and then to be rejected for those qualities, those traits, their personality, their dark side, their secrets, and all of those kind of things, and to be thrown away like they didn't matter, or they didn't have enough value to be kept around. Uh, it really just builds this hurt inside that I feel like a lot of people underestimate and don't talk about and don't acknowledge. Especially if you've kind of been that person that, you know, just easily ended a friendship because somebody didn't meet your expectations. And that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Expectations of people. Having expectations of your idea of a perfect person, I feel like it's just another reaching of a lower aspect of yourself. Like I'm not saying that you should accept someone if they're abusing you. There's always a line that I'm gonna make that very clear. There's always a line that you should draw with the concept of unconditional love. um, I feel like picking out traits that you expect someone to have, and then if they don't meet those expectations, that could very well be unrealistic or unfair. Uh, it's just not right. It's not right for a number of reasons, because nobody can be perfect and nobody will ever be perfect. And I think I've said that before, someplace, like sometime during this video, but setting unrealistic expectations for your idea of a perfect person, I feel like you need to loosen that noose and just kind of have a reality check to realize that there's no such thing as a perfect person to begin with. And you are going to meet a variety of different people that have 10 amazing, beautiful qualities, but 2 bad ones. And if those 2 bad qualities are really something that you can both work with and overcome, I feel like it's a worthwhile thing to try to accomplish, especially because love loving somebody is just kind of like a higher frequency, a higher vibration. And sometimes just accepting those two bad qualities can actually open that person up to a different perspective or a different way of thinking, instead of rejecting them and leaving them with a bad taste in their mouth and making them feel like crap. And always having this, and then it just builds this resentment and it builds a bad trigger for that person. I hope that makes sense. Like, so for instance, you've learned about something new, and it's not a very popular idea of thinking, and it's not a very popular way of thinking just yet. And you want to express that with somebody close to you or anybody, and they don't accept you. There's two ways that can go. So the first way that can go is just really taking a step back and understanding and accepting that people learn in their own time, at their own pace, and they're entitled to that. Or you could go the negative route, I suppose. Again, it's all about circumstances of, like, it's all about context and the situation. You can go the negative route and completely abandon everybody and completely abandon the people that don't understand that new line of thinking, that new ideology and stuff like that, and just flip your middle finger to the world and be like, me against the world, and just have that kind of unhelpful mentality. It is unhelpful, unfortunately, because there are going to be people that don't see your point of view straight away. There are going to be people that need time to adjust, need time to learn when they want to, at their own pace, not at your pace. And I feel like that's a good example, I suppose. It could be anything. It could be, I don't even know. There's so many things out there that could apply to. So it's your choice what you apply this to. But yeah, I feel like that is the end of my ramble, and that is the end of this message that I wanted to send out because of something that I've learned specifically this year. It's been a wild start to the year, guys. I don't even know how else to put that. Many downs, not enough ups for me personally. And I feel like a lot of my friends are feeling the same vibe. And I don't know what it is. Astrology is kind of explaining it, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating, and it's making me feel like I can't go on. And I feel like I've been resorting to really dark thoughts again, but I think that in reality, all those dark thoughts is me crying out to myself to shed old skin and just rise from the ashes. Try to stay positive. Some days I'm okay, and some days I'm really motivated. And I've only achieved a total of 1 out of the 8 goals that I've aimed for this year, and I did that in January, so it was just the beginning. Like, I did that within the first 20 days of this year, so I feel like I'm somewhat proud of myself for that, at least. But aside from that, things haven't been great. Friendships ending, people in hospital, my heart breaking over some things in my personal life with friends, family. But I'm trying to stay positive. It gets hard though. It really does. And if you guys, if any of you are in that same boat, I'm so sorry. I'm begging you to keep going. It's just the first 2 months of this year. You know, it will eventually get better. Just be positive, breathe, take time for yourself, try to do something that you love one day every week. And if your new year has been amazing, then I'm so happy to hear that. And I hope it keeps getting more amazing. And even if there's challenges for you, I hope that you overcome them throughout the year. And I hope that if you set a list of goals, you achieve all of them, or at least half of them. um, yeah, so for me, I'm just floating. I'm just riding it out, riding out this wave, riding out the ocean of my life, and just really trying not to be intimidated by it and trying not to be drowning in misery. I'm getting there. But yeah, reconnect with nature and find the balance that is within you always. Like this video if you did. Subscribe if you want to see more content of me just rambling or vlogs. I'm hopefully going to be traveling to another country this year and 2 other states. That's one of my goals for this year. So I'd probably be vlogging that if you wanted to stay tuned for that. Yeah. Have a good day or night. I love you guys. Bye.